So where so I'm going to focus on the next part, which is going to be focusing on the editor inside of the game. So I downloaded these stuff. So I got Hootao for the character, and then we got a background. So I'm gonna focus on Hootao for now. So I'll just I've moved the assets into stuff so I can make it easier than finding it through all of these. So I would suggest putting it in this area. So I'll just go share images and character. I'm just gonna quickly go check for the icon. I have seen the icon. Yep. All right. It downloaded. So for the characters, you put it in this characters. Most of you would know that. And then the icons go in here. You can change where you put the icons using source code, but I think it's better if we keep it where it is. Okay, so this is the icon right here. Okay. So since we put that in, you go back here and do the whole line test windows again. Let me just remove this. Line test windows. So you do that again and you go back into the game and all the assets should be loaded. Another thing I suggest you do is if you delete something inside of the assets folder, also go to the exports and delete it. Yeah. Go to the exports and delete the same exact thing. Because if you go live test Windows again, it will still keep everything that was inside, but it will add or replace anything that you put inside of the folder. So that's why sometimes Lime Test Windows Clean is a better choice, but it takes too long. So just delete all the stuff that you deleted already. Right, so to go into the character editor, I think a lot of people would know this. You press 7, and then you can see all of these. I think I will try to focus on all of these except the stage editor, because I think these should be. The nose splash is a pretty complicated one. I've used it before. It's takes some time, so let's just. First, we'll focus on the character editor. All right. Yeah. So there's no characters because I deleted all my character files. So, uh, first you need to know exactly where you put the characters. So you go into exports, releases, Windows, bin, in assets. You go shared images, character, and here. So I believe if I do this right, it should be shared slash images slash character, characters slash Hootao FNF. I think. Whoops. All right, so that's crash. Just make sure you don't end up with a crash at the end. Um, Usually I keep this as like what I do is I keep it as still have all the stuff I need, but because I'm showing you how to make the character files, I'm trying to show you. So let's just go down. Characters. That's already gone in images, that's why. Alright, that makes much more sense. Okay. I'm keeping the sound up just for you to be able to hear me, so the sound's still on, I just muted everything. So character icon and shift characters slash how if I reload, yeah. Hold on. J. Alright. Oops. Alright, so another thing you would know is this changes which character is playable or not. And what I want you to know is I'm going to show you how to do both. Move an opponent's character to be a playable character and a playable character to be opponent's character to make it easier. And yeah. All right. So first, because there's no animation, we're gonna have to make one. And I shouldn't have pressed anything. Just hold on. After I redo everything. Just make sure you make one before touching anything. So like I will focus, I'll have to open the XML. So you want to have the XML here. Got down, hu tau, hey, hu tau, idle. I will use all of these for it. I'll put this on the other screen. You won't be able to see it, but you should understand exactly what I'm doing. So there's the animations you have alt down, you got all right, down, hey, idle, left, right, up. Let me just open the character file at the same time. So yeah, I can work with it. So like I can so we're gonna focus on all the parts in the XML. So first we are going to focus on right. Yeah. Okay, so if you press F1, you see all these. So you got ENQ, which zooms character in and out, as you can see in the back. R resets all the characters, and J, K, L, and I moves around the camera. It's the exact same thing as ASWD. These ones I don't exactly use, except Control Z, which should be obvious. W and S are previous and next animation. Space replays, arrow keys moving the offset, and AD frames. You can do toggle silhouettes, which I feel like is the best idea to do. So you know exactly where to put the characters instead of going back and looking. Because if you go here in the ghost section, highlight ghost, and then get ghost, make ghost, and then it will make it easier for you to know exactly where you have to put it. All right, now let's focus back on Hu Tao. So we want Hu Tao first to have her animation of idle. Right, so whenever you have an idle animation, always look for the idle section. So if you go Control F for find idle, all these are what you need. So you don't need to include the numbers here unless there's multiple instances, like if you have idle hu tau 0000 and idle hu tau 1000. If they are completely different, you would have to write the zero at the start. And it will include anything that has a zero, and anything that doesn't start with a zero in the numbers won't be included. But since that's not the case, we keep it as idle. So we control copy it here. And what this does is it adds her. So now what you need to do is try to make her work. Yeah. Hold on. Yep. Shift makes it go down by 10. So here's the, let me just zoom out. So this is the first animation for Hotel, and then add an update. So that means you can go back here and there will be no crash. Should it loop, then it'll always just be looping, but every FNF animation doesn't include a loop. So you go like that, and then at the next beat, it will go like this. All right, so now that that's done, now the other thing is this, I press anything? No. Okay. So this is the camera position where you want the camera to be set. So what I would suggest is putting it somewhere right in front of Futao. Oh, what else I suggest is for some reason in the FNF universe or something, every time you got a camera, every y coordinate, if you put it as going lower, like from 80 to 90, sorry, from 90 to 80, it would go up, and from 90 to 100, it would go down. So just remember that the camera, it's not following the exact coordinates, but it's like reversed. Okay, so this is the first animation. Whoops. Now let's focus on the next, which is we will name as left. So now we got left. That's left, yeah. Just make sure it's left, because sometimes you will end up with the one left. Okay, so we'll go back to idle. And as I said, we make the ghost. So what this does is if you go to the next one, you can see where you need to put your character. It makes it easier to put, see? So what it does is it just makes sure that the character is actually seeming still instead of like we got one character here and then moving it to the side over here. So we just want to have the ghost to make sure everything seems correct. Next we'll do right. You probably should keep it as the same character each time, like same idol, unless you realize something's off with that one, but go up. Whoops. Does that work? Yep, that works. Just make sure to replay the animation every time you feel like something might be off. Let's go down. All right. So these are the animations so far. There is still some more like the all right, you got the alt down and hey. So we'll go hey. And then we'll go to the all right, and then we'll go to the alt down. I don't think like necessarily you don't need these. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Just teaching. I'm just going to teach you how to get all of the characters in. All right, and then Also, make sure you have to follow exactly what the XML says or the animation is not complete. Oh, that doesn't say all right, that says alt right. Okay. Alt right. I don't see much difference, but okay. Alt right, and then we go alt down. Okay, so these are all the animations we have. So this is something you shouldn't really focus on, but whenever you get an icon, it's best to keep it as the same color as the icon, unless it's colored and you want it to be a bit different. Like, say, I know there was an example, someone had this like red colored icon, but the background was bluish. So you can use that as you can use that as an example of a different one. You can manually put it in yourself or get icon color and it will do the exact same icon color as something where the exactly in the middle. So it would choose this red over the black because it's like right here. If it was up here, it'd probably choose a yellow or a black. Yeah. So these are all the animations. What I would say to do is you would press character, save, and let me just open it. Okay. So we got Huta Crucify, go to assets, share, and then characters. Name it anything you want, but I would say just name it the same as the character. So since this is Huta, you save it like that. In the characters, and press save. I don't think, okay, yeah. Oh, wait. Right. Yeah, this is another problem I sometimes have. Fail to update resources. What this does is this icon, it doesn't include it anymore. But if you still want to include it, I would say put in the clean function. So Lime test Windows clean, and this should be fixed. We'll keep this like that for this like it for the sake. Right. So I said I would also tell you how to make it a playable. So you go to playable, ignore that the ghost is still there. Right. So what we are going to do is we will move Hu Tao a bit to the side. So she would fit in the VF's position. Then character, got camera, and here. So that's the first part. And everything is offsetted because it focuses on one side. For the playable characters, what you need to focus on is all the left and right animations and the offsets of all the animations. So let's focus on the offsets for everything except left and right. And the A is fine as well. Right. I'll do that. All right, the reason I said just leave the left and right is because, see, this side, although it seems like this is actually the right animation. Sorry, hold on. So here's the left. Actually, what Hu Tao is doing is this is the right animation, but it's actually considered as the left animation. So when you want to fix that, you swap out the left for the right, and then it will let's see, left. Yeah. So this is the left, and this is going to be the right. Let's click that. So just swap out the left and the right for each case. Even in the alt right, you put. But the alt right, I don't think you can do it. So because there's no alt left in this case. So I would suggest I would say just delete alt right if you have the if you don't have an alt left. But it fixes the characters every time you have a right and a left animation. Convert it to a playable character and switch both of them around. That's all I gotta say. And then exact same thing, save character. There are some cases when you have to play around with these. Character X and Y, it just moves the character whole thing around. And for the camera, it just moves the camera here. This little cross is the camera. Icon color, reload image, those seems pretty obvious. We got save character, this just flips around the X. And this one is advanced, you don't necessarily need them. Some of the character files, like the Sayori one, has it, but I don't use it that much. Reload character is, you don't have one, but when you press CMD, you can. Now we got a template. All right. Now let's go back to boyfriend. I think I messed up someone. Hold on. Um, yeah, I think I messed up somewhere. So what you would say is I put everything correct. Yeah, so everything's correct except of the names of the song, names of it. So if you don't want to go back here because we can't access it, what goes to assets, shared, characters in the files, and goes straight to hotel. So you go straight to hotel in here. As you can see, got this. So the thing we got wrong is here. So it's supposed to say sing and then all capitals here, left. And this is sing right, sing up, sing down. The other thing you can check is if you go into the source code and then you got the, let's see, objects, is it? Notes. Let's see what no animation, no misanimation, distance, and how. All right. Well, let's quickly go recheck on um this. If we go back into here, I'll quickly go recheck. We don't have the dad yet, so this is going to be a bit of a problem. If I go assets, base game, shared, characters, it has all of these, so that makes it easier. Sing left, sing down, sing up, sing right, idle, idle loop, sing left loop, sing right loop, sing up loop. Nope. Doesn't have any of those alt animations yet, unless. Let's see. I don't believe that any of these have like an alt animation, but um, what I would think is that it has to say in the source code somewhere. So if I go back in here, play state, it will talk about alts. Oh, what you want to do is just go back here because some of these will still have alts. So I would say until you get yeah. So the alt anim is one thing we have to focus on. So I don't know exactly how the alt anim works, but I will have to go back and check it and I'll tell you later. Alright, so that's the things I would say focus on. You got the hey, you got the alt right, and then alt down. That's what you have to focus on. These ones, it's fine, just leave it for now. It's just extra stuff if you want to mainly focus on editing it through a JSON. So then boyfriend, we have got to go back here, assets, shared, images, characters, boyfriend.xml. So we got all these, which pretty much. Man, I should have kept the other one. But anyway, let's go back to here. Alright, so I'm gonna add all of them. Okay. Alright, let's see. You want to put the X and everything is fine. We'll move the character a bit to the side. And then all we do is move the character all the way down till its section. Yeah, all the way down till here. And you want to make a ghost. Because you will see some offsets like here. So everything's fine now. So we were going to add extra animations. So we got hey, which we will put as BF, hey. All right. And then we done the note down. We haven't done sing miss down, I believe. I'm gonna have to quickly check on the miss down. I don't usually do it like from scratch unless it doesn't have any miss animations. So sorry if it still confuses me, but sing up miss, you just add. I think I know what to do for the let's go sing down miss. So what you have to do is just it's the same thing, it's just based on the XML, but since the XML is pretty simple, it just adds a miss to the end. If you want to go sing left miss, left miss, change this to left. There are going to be some cases when there is a difference, so like sing right will fix to here. And then up, we will put in up So that's the extra one. We'll put them in place now. So up miss, we will have to put it into its place. This is already in its place. We'll move that up and move this a bit to the side to fit in with boyfriend. Let's move this down a bit so it's more easy to see. All right. Then we got all the extra one, which is like hits. And then we got BF and hits. It just was that. That's all. For the idol dance, I believe. We'll name this idol Shake. I think. Because we got idol, which already is our BF idol dance. Now we add pre-attack. Pre-attack. Oops. BF pre-attack. I'm just adding. Whoops. I had something wrong. Oh yeah. Everything has to be matching, including the capitals. Otherwise, it won't work. And then this, and then got BF. I will look for the other one, but we got Dodge. And then got BF boyfriend this time. It's right, boyfriend. Dodge. Let's see. Attack. Whoops. Attack. Ah, yeah, there's an attack. So like we write attack, boyfriend, attack. It's like you got pre-attack, and then it just automatically launches. So that's all that you have to focus on right now. All right, so everything's set. You got your icon, we've done the character, we've done all this. So you press save, and this is called boyfriend.json. And simple, when you want to change it to the other side, you press flip X, settings, non-playable character. I'm sorry, this stays the same. Everything is changed the offset, but what you want to do is left and right are swapped out every single time. No matter what happens, left and right are always swapped out in the animations. Still need clarification, I'll probably do another video on that part, but that's the first part which we'll focus on. I will not make a GF one. I will re-import it. So you got GF here. We will move it to the characters in Hotel, and we've got a GF in the background. All right, this is going to be a long video, so we will now everything in here that we put in this area will now be transferred to our assets. So press line test windows, and everything will move from there. Next, we will focus on our weak editor. As we wait for this to go, this moves all the assets, and those are the little changes that had happened. All right. So there is no asset type thing for the hotel. So I'll just explain to you quickly through the characters that are already there. So we'll skip the stage editor. The weak editor is pretty obvious. So what you want to do is, because the cover I'm going to be using is called Afterlife. We will name it here. Characters, you can put dad or you can put GF again. This changes who the characters are. Stage changes anything, so like Hu Tao or this, but make sure it fits the exact same thing as the image in the background. This changes whatever's on the top, so you can change it to Hu Tao crucified. Right. This weak name, I will name it Hu Tao. And then this, you need a weak name. I will show you how to do it in the next time, but I'll show you how to do it. And hide weak from story mode, meaning you can only access it in the free play. Starts locked. You need to know the weak of the name with or hidden till unlocked. But what I would say is if you need to know which file name. So like you got the weak name. This also means that the weak name, if you name it Hu Tao, whatever this is Hu Tao or whatever you named Jason. This one changes, so like nothing. You got easy, null, and hard. I always put in hard difficulty, so I would say keep it in here. I will show you how to do how these characters work, background assets and weak file. I will show you how that works, but first we'll go here. So you want an icon. Sorry. Shoot. Okay. So it seems like they changed something here. Okay. So they have changed something here from the older versions, but you have to select your own RGB. Since I always keep it the same as my health bar colors, I would put it like from the Jason 210, 23, and 12. I always make sure it would fit the icon every single time. Hide weak from free play, meaning you can only access it during as you know, it would only be accessed during story mode when you unlock it. But that's the part. Yeah. So I will make these, and I'll show you in the next video, the edits. So I will name this week Hu Tao. These ones I don't need. And we'll do Hu Tao. I have an image, but I will show you how to move it in here. So this is, whatever's going to be here is going to be Hu Tao. This is going to be weak Hu Tao, which is a PNG. And the free play is pretty obvious. All you have to do is edit the icon in the background. And hard, tutorial, we're going to keep this unlocked because we don't have a tutorial yet. So what I would say is first save the week, which goes in shared and weeks. We name it week Hu Tao. And week file name for the week, you have to finish unlocking. We will name it whatever is in here. Week Hu Tao. Right. So now that that's done, yeah, as you can see, it's added. So this week list, what this does is it puts everything in order. Because if you don't put it in order, what it would do is it would only go in alphabetical order. Since this is already in alphabetical order, you don't have to worry about it, but what I would say is we're going to delete all of this and put in week Hu Tao. Stage list is the same thing. So don't worry about that one. All right. Now let me tell you how to add those extra parts. So all these things would go in images. We got the menu background, which you will add in here. You focus on what the README text says, because this is where you should put the story mode, base game, shared images, menu backgrounds. And What this is meant to be is you put as a PNG, and everything would be put back inside, and whatever you name it, it will be put in here. As long as it's the correct one. The same thing goes for the menu difficulties. Move it into here. Because you can add extra difficulties. It's not that hard. You can name your own ones. Menu character is like the BF and the GF. And we got story menu, which is all those week 1, week 2, week 3 files. All right. And these ones are pretty obvious on what they do. So that's all I'm going to put for this part. Right. So next part, we skip the stage editor because I'm going to teach you how to make stages through source code. Menu character editor. What this does is it changes the offset. Can change. I've never actually used this, so I don't know what to expect from this. Yep, there we go. I would suggest don't play around with that section because I've never used it, so I'll try to learn and explain it to you next time, but that's another thing you have to be careful about. All right. And free play, no weeks added. Wonder why no weeks added. All right. I will go back to that, but the next section we will skip the menu character dialogue editor. Really simple. You can just edit the text. Hush. And then you can add an extra one. So press P to add an extra one. So press P. And this is the next one. And you can also name this to GF and dad. Sorry. We only got GF, which you can name. You can just put random stuff. Anyway, that's all you have to focus on. You can also change what the animation is or the sound file. So you can make this angry and it changes how long it takes. And you also got these animations. So you press W, scared, and that. Press 0 to remove them. I'm sorry, wrong one. I forget. All right, let's go back. We don't want to save any of these since our character doesn't have a static portrait. But this part, all it does is you can't do anything about this. So what this does is you just edit the offset. IJK, reset haste, toggle people, check, full speech bubble. Yeah, so it doesn't work with the arrow keys. So you have to edit through here. This is the image file name and the animation is being played. You can change where he is. But yeah, I would suggest keeping that off. And note splash editor, pretty simple. You can see all these note splashes. What you do is these all have their own animation, so you can move them around. See, don't move it around unless you have a new one which doesn't work, because most of them would work. The DDTO files won't. So I suggest just keep it as simple. All right. So that's everything covered in here, except for the chart editor. I will press 0 now. Yeah. Sorry. The chart editor will come soon because I don't believe they saved the test. So what I will explain to you is all these stuff. Game over character, we got these, and disable no RGB. If you have any notes that are like not, whenever you have the RGB settled, it changes everything. I suggest you turn it off and make sure no one can change the notes in this section. Because as the note DDTO notes, I have no clue how to change them from the source code. So I always disable no RGB and make sure on here the note splash and note textures cannot be changed. You got these death sounds, loop music, retry music. I will go over that when I'm next. Events. All these are events, so you can go hey, and then it will change for anyone else. All right, and add camera zoom can make. I'll show you how to make your own events in source code as well as the note types. I'll show you how to make your own. Section is the most focused part, important part. So must hit section means that whoever is in this section, this means that they are going to be the one focused on. So if I put here, the camera will be focused on boyfriend, and all these notes, it will still be changed. It'll still be the same. For when it's unchecked, everything is going to focus on the opponent. So even if I'm like this and there's nothing for the opponent, it will still stay focused on the opponent. GF section, whoever is on the must hit section, so it would always just focus on girlfriend. The alt animation, just make sure anything in this section is altered. Change BPM. So say you already have 150 and then the next section you want to change it to 160. In the next section, change BPM and change it to 160. That's simple. Beats per section, it just does that. I would keep it at 4 unless you want to do it like as usually you would see 4 section. You want to make both of them have an equal amount in a section. You make this into 2, add the next part into 2, and then you would focus on both, one on boyfriend and one on the opponent. The next section would be copy section, paste section, clear, copy and paste, obvious. These are, for copy section, if nothing is selected, nothing's copied. If this is selected, only notes are copied. Selected, only events, and this is for both. This clears everything, like even notes or events, make sure they're selected if you want to clear them. And the paste is pretty obvious. Copy last section is the same thing, but this changes the amount of sections you copied. I feel like that would be much more helpful. Swap sections, whatever's on here, it will go to the other side. Mirror. So duet, it would change both of them. It will make sure both of them has the same note. Mirror, it just flips them around. So yeah, that's all you focus on here. This one, allow vocals. Name it any song that you have. You got the stages, which I don't have any. Opponents, which we name Hu Chao. Player, boyfriend, and girlfriend. If you go into here.
3, 2, 1, go!
Okay. So that's all you would have to focus on for this. So everything in the 7, if you go into the main menu and press 7, everything's in here. Stage editor, I would say don't focus on it because I'll teach you how to do it in source code. Dialogue editor, portrait editor. You would only do that if you have a dialogue. And menu character, don't focus on it too much because if you don't know what you're doing, it's best to just keep it the same way. But for my mods, usually I don't have a character and I just keep it as edited image. So I say just keep it like that. And that's everything covered for the 7 menu. And then I will explain to you some of the other stuff. So I will explain to you charting next time, and I will show you the other parts. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. If there's anything wrong with the tutorial, just tell me. Uh, I said this was going to be a source code, but what I'm going to do is show you how to do the modding as well as source code. So everything here is not going to be Lua or soft-coded related. All this is source code, but for making a whole mod, these are the stuff you can do without source code. So this you can do with source code, so I'm not focusing on that. But everything else in here is not done with source code. So that's why I had to focus on it. So thanks for watching.